Oh, hi, y'all. Um, I was just sitting here missing my dad, so I thought, well, I'll get some pictures and show you some pictures of my dad. Tell you some family stories. If I can get this thing out here. Let's see if I can get it out. It's one of them albums where you gotta, it's all you can do or not do to get the pictures in and out of the sleeves. Let's see if I can get it out. Here we go. Okay. See, my dad, for a while, was staying in a, I don't know if you'd call it like a nursing home or what it was, but he was staying there temporarily for a while. And while he was there, he met this gal, and I guess she thought that he was rich because he told her he had some land and a house that was paid for. Well, this old gal was a narcissistic opportunist, and my dad was lonely. And of course, her being a narcissist, she poured the charm on and acted all loving and kind and stuff. So he married her. Well, next thing you know, they moved out to Dad's house, and wowee, was she in for a surprise. My dad had about, I don't know, acre and a half, 2 acres, I don't know. Wasn't no more than that. And his house was real old. It was built back in the 1940s and had been moved from Imperial, Texas, out there to where it was, out there outside Leander, Texas. And it was old, and it was getting rotted. Mainly the eaves were rotted on it, and the floors were getting rotted underneath the support underneath it. Well, anyway, she found out real quick that Dad wasn't rich. And so she wasn't all lovey-dovey and stuff after that. She started being mean, being her true self. And here's a picture of them. This is Thanksgiving. We drove from West Texas here out to spend Thanksgiving with the family and to see Dad. Mainly, I wanted to see my daddy. He's in a wheelchair there. And it was Thanksgiving, it was wintertime there, and it was cold. And she didn't even put no socks on his feet or nothing. There he is in shorts. Took him outside in shorts. Didn't even put a blanket over his legs. Well, anyway, this gal, Dad had been complaining for a long time, and even after we had gone back home and to West Texas, and for a long time, that his back was hurting him. He couldn't figure out why. And we was wanting to go back and visit Dad again or something later on. And I guess we called there at their house, and I was talking to her on the phone. She answered, and she just talked so dadgum weird. She acted like we was going there to see her. And she was wanting to have a cooking contest amongst all the family members and all this and that and this and that. And she was, she's just setting up all this stuff that she wanted to do. And, I was wanting to go see my daddy. I didn't give a shit about her. But anyway, she called me back about 2 or 3 different times, and then every time she called me back, she sounded a little bit more weird, and I got to worrying about my dad. I thought, he's living with a weirdo. So I called my little brother. He lived up the road from my dad's house. And I said, James, I'm worried about Dad. And he said, what's up? And I told him, how weird she was. I said, I'm worried about it. And he said, uh-huh. So it wasn't not just me and my wife. Somebody else thinks something weird too. And I said to him, I'm really worried about Dad. He said he was kind of worried too. So what he did was he put some hidden microphone things, I don't know what kind they was, around the house. recorded. They could record their conversation, and he said that when they listened to them, got them things and listened to them, that she talked so hateful to him, said she wished he would die, and called him all kinds of names and cussed at him and just talked awful. Well, James took those recordings up to the laws. I don't know, sheriff's office, I don't know, or a judge or something. I don't know how they go about that. But anyway, he took them and let the laws listen to that and said that he wanted that gal out of there, and they agreed with him. They needed to get her out of there and put a restraining order against her. And they got her out of there. They got her out of there, and James and his wife went in there to clean the house later on after that, and he said the house was filthy. She didn't clean nothing. He said it was horrible. And they found under the mattress on Dad's side of the bed, they found a log, like you would put in a fireplace, a log under Dad's mattress, and that's what was making his back hurt. All that time, she had put a log under the mattress to make him hurt. Now, is that crazy or what? Psycho. Well, needless to say, Dad got divorced from her real quick. I tell you what, this is horrible. And she was so vain, because when we were there, she had a picture of herself when she was younger, and she said, look at this picture, and she go, look at that. She was so vain, and she wasn't no prettier than anybody else. She was between average and pretty when she was young. She wasn't all that. But boy, howdy, she thought she was hot stuff. And see, that's my poor old daddy right there. See my daddy? He's in heaven now. And I tell you, I miss him so bad I can't hardly stand it. Dang, I miss my daddy. It just nearly kills me sometimes. I miss him so bad. I don't know how other people deal with missing their parents when their parents are gone. I ain't going to get over it. There's no such thing as getting over it. With somebody you love and you've known all your life, and they're gone, you don't get over it. You miss them so bad you can't stand it. Especially when it's one of your own parents. And I miss my mom too. Even though I wasn't as close to her as I was my dad, I miss her too. Let me see if I can find something else I might want to show. I'll show you a picture of me and my mom. Here's a picture of me. I'm not sure when this was taken. Well, if I get this thing open, these old photo albums, it's hard to get stuff out of them. And it's trying to fall to pieces. Okay, here's me and my mom. Now, it says on the back of here, 2010. This was before I met my husband and before my mom went to before she went and lived with somebody else and she had hospice and died. But there's my mama. I don't know how good that's focusing in, but that's me and my mama. My mother was a bit of a narcissist. She wasn't big time. She's a little bit of a narcissist, and that's why we weren't real close. But I still loved her. She was my mother. A picture of my husband when we first got together. He didn't have a belly. He was kind of slim. Wasn't skinny, but he was kind of slim. When the very first time my dog Lucy met my husband, she went crazy over him. She just loved him. She went nuts. And she didn't go nuts over other people like she did him. Normally when she'd meet somebody, she'd hold back. But there's a lot of pictures of after we got together. But I mainly look at pictures of my daddy. And I'm not showing you pictures of my husband if I can keep from it, because he don't like being posted on YouTube. And I don't know why he posts himself on Facebook all the time. I don't know what the difference is with YouTube. We've got pictures when we first moved on that property out there. Pictures of when we went to the Imperial Reservoir. I'll go ahead and show you this picture here. Here's a picture of me and my husband when we went to the Imperial Reservoir. There we are. See how much younger I would look back then? See, these pages are coming out of this thing. This album here. She's falling asleep. Falling asleep. It's falling apart. You ever heard of an album falling asleep? I'll show you this picture of my husband here. He was horsing around on a Pope Jack. Let me show you. Well, if I can get it out. There he was. He was horsing around on a Pope Jack. My husband is the bravest man I have ever known. He is the bravest man I have ever known in my life. I mean, many times he scared me doing things I scared to death he'd get hurt or killed. And this is me. This was just before I turned 50. And I made that dress. I called it my Valentine dress. It had Valentines on it. And this was around the time I met my husband. That was before we got married. You get that picture back in there. I tell you, this album just ain't very good. It's not very good at all. But I'll show you this old trailer house. Let me just move this over there. It'll be easier than taking it out. Now, you see that trailer house? It was a 1972 trailer house, and we bought it from a guy that owned it next door. Moved it onto that property. That was my mother's property. And that was the kitchen there. But when my daughter came to live with us later on, several years later, she had took care of my mom when my mom was really bad off, and she had took care of her and all that till my mom died. And as I look back on it now, knowing what I know, it makes me wonder if my daughter took care of her because she thought she was going to get a bunch of money from my mom. Because my mom was good about saving money. I mean, she lived off Social Security, but she saved money, and she had a life insurance policy to pay for her funeral stuff. Because my daughter's very narcissistic, very sad to say. And anyway, now I got off track. Anyway, that was my mom's property. We lived out there for about 10 years. My daughter came to stay with us after Mom had died. And she had it in her head that, you know, she's the one that ought to have owned that property. And we thought, well, she took care of Mom's last few years, so, you know, we let her have it. And she was eager to take it, too. And it wasn't long after that she started showing her true colors. And, anyway, so we rented. What we did after that, she wanted us. She didn't like us being there. She wasn't very nice to us. My husband didn't wait. He knew how she was. He bought one of those travel trailers, a nice one. Wasn't real long. I think it was 20 foot. Something like that. We lived in that for 2 years, and then now we're renting this house here in town. Yeah. But anyway, see if I can find some pictures here that'll be of interest to you. My dog Lucy got sick and was dying around that time before we moved out of the trailer house. And, you know, no compassion from my daughter for my dog. She didn't care to help take care of that. That was when I had that, right after I had that hernia surgery, and I was in the bed and I couldn't do nothing. I couldn't take care of my dog. Couldn't count on my daughter to help me with her. She didn't care. And Lucy had gotten so weak that she couldn't even roll over. And she had lost all her muscle mass, and she was just skin and bones. And then she lost control of her bowels and her bladder. And it broke my heart. I wanted to take care of her so bad, but my husband was all stressed out. He was stressed out about the situation with my daughter. And then he got stressed out because of our dog. He loved our dog. But he said, you're going to have to put her down, put her to sleep, take her to the vet. So I handed over my disability card so he could pay for it. $98 paid the vet to have put Lucy to sleep. Broke my heart. Shit. She's buried out there on that property, and I wouldn't put it past my daughter to demolish the grave. We had a pet cemetery started out there. I wouldn't put it past her to demolish it. She's so heartless. She gave me a real weird look one time when I was out there. Said, I guess I could leave these graves here. Real weird look. And I thought, yeah, I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking, you little bitch. I love her. She's my daughter. But she's a bitch. Heartless bitch. Crazy, psycho. Okay, now this don't have pictures in it that I wanted to show you. I'm gonna have to get my other album over here. Y'all just hold on while I go get it. Move, Lucy. Her. They put that up back there. Let me see. See if this has got ones in it, because I have another one somewhere. I'm not sure where it's at. It's probably in the junk room. No, this ain't gonna have those pictures in it. old-time family pictures. Pictures. My brother-in-law, he's passed away from a heart attack not too long ago. Julio, I mean, that was little Harvey, sweet dog we had. I'll show you. The very first serious painting I ever did in my life. All my life I wanted to be an artist, but I never thought I could do it. And then one day when I was 43 years old, I decided I'm going to try it and see. I can't get this picture out. Oh, that's aggravating. I hate these albums. See, I painted that. I looked at a picture of an Indian, a black and white picture in a history book at a library, and I painted that Indian. And I gave that picture to my brother because he likes Indian stuff. Okay. Let's see here. I wish I had them paintings. I gave I gave 2 paintings that I did to her. I gave them to my daughter. I wish I had them now. I don't know if she still has them or if she threw them away out of spite. She does things like that. Show you. Show you this picture of her. See her? There she is, holding that dog. Don't that look like a sweet, loving picture? That dog was half scared of her because she was abusive to it. She told me one time, she's always running away from home because so-and-so, her now ex-husband, said he was so mean to her, abusive. And now I know, I look back on that, and she was the one who was abusive to the dog. I saw her one time abusing the dog. She had let her guard down. She had lost control of her, putting on her narcissistic act of Mrs. Wonderful. And she snapped. And she grabbed that dog by the nose and was squeezing it real hard. And I couldn't believe that's before I knew she was narcissistic, because I hadn't seen her much in many years. And I was just, damn. And if she hadn't let go of when she did, I would have had to say something. I mean, I was flabbergasted. She knew better than that shit. She knew better than to be mean like that. That hussy. Here we are when she's putting on her act, her smiley wiley act. This is us, her and me, and that's when I still wore my dentures. See how much younger I look there. But see, she always puts on that big old smile. Puts on a big act. But I need to just put her out of my mind. Put her out of my mind. And there's some paintings I did. They Now, see there? I did those paintings several years ago. And I don't know what happened to this one. I wish I still had it. I probably sold it. I know I sold this one. I wish I'd have kept them now. I mean, it's one thing to have a picture of your painting, but there's nothing like having the real painting. I really liked them two paintings. I really did. But I sold them. Show you a picture of my dad's old house. His house is torn down now because it's old and rotted. There's a picture of my dad's old house. So you can imagine that old gal when she saw this old house. You can imagine how her countenance fell. She probably went from to that. That old gal. She thought my daddy was rich. That's why she married him. Crazy. Crazy, crazy. Little Harvey. Sweet little Harvey. We took in a lot of stray dogs when we lived out there. Outside of town there. And somebody murdered our boxer. We had a big boxer and he was just the sweetest thing in the world. Somebody murdered him. They kidnapped him, took him off and murdered him. They tied a bag around his head and smothered him to death. Now, ain't that horrible? That's what you call evil. Whoever did that is evil. Well, I'll have to find that other album that's got pictures of my daddy in them. That's mainly what I was wanting to show y'all. I miss my dad so much, I can't stand it. I can't stand it. I tell you what, it's like my heart's been ripped in half. But anyway, little girl. Look at that little girl. Look at that little girl. But anyway, that's about it for now, y'all. Talk to you later. Bye.